Growing up, I had a great family, but we never attended church. We didn't learn about God. Grew up basically atheist. Of course, as a teenager, started getting into some bad things and drinking and drugs. Became an alcoholic for a good portion of my life. When I was in my early 30s, we started to attend church. Just on Sundays, I was still drinking a lot, doing drugs. And one night I'd had enough and I sat down. Got off of work about 3 o'clock in the morning, sat down with a beer, and a little drunk, and prayed for the first time, and he answered me. He was there. I broke down and started crying because I realized at that moment that he was real and he loved me, even though my entire life I denied he existed. I wanted to be a better father for my daughters. I didn't like the person that I had been before. And life got a lot better. But we attended church regularly. We went every Sunday. About 2 years ago, Abby started attending 412, and she was telling me all about it, and I was like, well, what's she learning at this church? So I started listening to the podcast. I think I listened to every podcast for the last 5 years when I was running, when I was riding my bike, work. I think it was the second one I listened to. You could hear Reg get teary-eyed. And I cry in church a lot because I feel God touch my heart, and I still remember what it feels like to know that God loves me, even though I denied he existed for 3/4 of my life. And the second I heard Reg get teary-eyed in that sermon, I was like, oh, Lord, that's where we need to be. It's just, if the pastor can feel it that deep and be touched while he's up there teaching, it's a place we wanted to be and a place we wanted to try. I'd only been to one church in my life, so coming to a new church was kind of scary.
So what brought you to Praise that first time?
My daughter had been attending 412 for a few months, and she wanted to be baptized. And I was excited to come see what she was experiencing here and to be a part of that with her.
I remember my first time at 412, my friend Caitlin, she invited me, and I didn't really think twice about going. I was super excited. And my first time at 412, it was so different from the moment I walked in. I felt very welcomed and at home and where I belong. And the worship set was different. Every song that they sang I related to, and the words were very powerful and emotional. And then Jimmy's sermon was so great, as it always is. I remember crying so hard my very first time. I related to everything he said. And then we moved to small groups, and I really felt welcomed, and I felt like I belonged there. Just as I kept coming to 412 and as everything kept sinking in my heart, and like Greg says, the coin dropped, I started learning more, and I wanted to learn more. I wanted to come to 412, and I wanted to learn about Jesus. I started realizing who Jesus really was, and everything that he did for me, and that no matter what we go through in life, that he's there for us, and no matter what sins we commit or no matter what things we do, that he loves us. I made the commitment to get baptized here. I got baptized November 15th, 2015, and that was the first time my dad had come to Praise with me. And that was really special for me that we got to experience that together and that he was there for me. And after that, we just started coming together and growing in our faith.
Since we've been coming to Praise, our relationship together and individually has just grown that much deeper. We've always been very close, but to be at Praise and to get to experience Sunday service together, Servolutions, the Sunday before Christmas, it's just been amazing to spend that extra time with her. And watching her grow, not only as a teenager, but also in her faith, and excited to come to church on Wednesdays and Sundays, and the amount of extra time she spends at home going through her Bible and walking in there expecting to see her watching Netflix or something, but she's got her Bible open and journals and reading and learning. It's been pretty amazing.
Sometimes we'll go to church on Sundays, we'll go to second service, and I'll come home and he's watching the live stream for the third service, or he just goes to all 3 services just because he wants to rehear them and relearn or learn things that he didn't hear from the other 2. It's really cool to see that. And also to see, like if I'm doing my devotions at night and I'll see on the YouVersion app and I'll see his name pop up that he highlighted a verse or that he started a new devotion. And I really like to see that, and it's really cool. It's really amazing to see him grow in his faith and us being able to grow together.
It's brought us closer together, and we share a lot more at home and talk a lot more about our faith and what we've learned through Jesus. Along with the growth that I've seen in her while we've been here, I'm really proud of her for serving the Praise Kids and wanting to be an intern next year so she can spend more time here and be more involved.
I'm really proud that he wants to be a 412 mentor, and I think back to my first time at 412 and how important my small group mentor was to me. And I'm very proud of him that he wants to be that to some other kid. He wasn't asked to do it, he chose to do it, and that's really cool.
I'm Stephen.
And I'm Abby.
And I'm here because of the impact that 412 has had on my family.